Good morning. My name is Ulster with Reneu Health. Some of you may have participated with Jimmy's class. I believe it's on Tuesdays. And that is focused more on strength exercises. And so for today, what we do is a little bit more movement and stretching and balance just to carry us over into the weekend. So it's not necessarily designed to get our blood flowing and get the heart going very much, but it's to get the joints nice and fluid and relaxed, get the circulation going, and so we can get right into the Labor Day weekend with a smile on our face and a nice rhythm in our heart. As you can see, my setup is very bare, which means we don't need any equipment for this class. Times are tough, money is tight, but the positives in this is what I hope that we can gather is that we don't require equipment in order to get a very comprehensive exercise going on. We can do everything just using our chair and moving our bodies around, and that's one of the points that I'd like to make. All right, so again, without further ado, we're going to start off sitting nice and tall in our chair. So long as you have a nice, firm, seated surface, that's all well and good. You can see I'm on my computer chair. I use this specifically so that I could swivel around and you guys can see the different angles, the form that I'm using that we can replicate. I don't have any armrests. If you have them, great. If you don't, perfectly fine as well. So once we're seated nice and tall, we're going to start off by relaxing. Deep breaths in through the nose, expanding our stomach, and exhaling through our mouth, pursed lips. We're going to do that 3 times. And out. Really sucking in that air so we can get the oxygen into our blood so that it can carry and supply the muscles that we're about to work. And I've structured things to go from the top down of our body and then return up again by the end. So we're going to start with our movements, first with our neck, beginning with the yes and no motion. We'll direct that first by tucking our chin. The movement comes from the chin and the base of the skull, bringing our chin down toward our chest. If we're using too much of the base of our neck, it looks more like this and it starts to round out the back. That's not what we want. We want it up top, isolating, so we can get a nice stretch in the back of the neck. We can hold on a little bit to cue, holding for about 5 seconds. And then reversing that action, using our nose and our chin to guide, lifting up and looking up toward the ceiling and the sky. Again, nice, tall, straight back as we do this, straightening and stretching that top and that front part of our neck. One more time, going down, leading with our chin. And then up one more time, looking up toward the sky. To feel a little bit more of the stretch, I encourage that we close our jaw so that our teeth, not necessarily clenched, but nice and closed, so that these muscles right here, you can even place your hand upon your collarbone to help support a little bit more and feel more of that stretch in the those front muscles. Holding, 3, 2, 1, and come back down to center. We'll go over and turn, rotating toward the left to get a little bit more of the stretch for these side muscles. You can always gently press and cue either on your cheek or your chin to get closer toward your shoulder. Holding for about 15 seconds. Good, everyone. Releasing and then turning slowly over toward the right side. And if it feels good, once again, you can cue by gently using your hand to push ever so gently your head to get a little bit more of that stretch in the twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Back to center. So we said yes and no. Now we're gonna go maybe. So we're gonna tilt the head over to the side, trying to reach our ear toward our shoulder. To emphasize the stretch, we can hold and gently pull. And be aware also of our opposite shoulder. If it starts to shrug up like this, then we lose some of that tension in the stretch. So really try to bring it down as we increase and elongate those neck muscles. Good. Gently releasing. And doing the opposite side. Ensuring that we keep a straight back. We're not, as we lead the stretch, don't allow your body to tilt like that. We lose a bit of the stretch. We want it right in here. Nice emphasis. And return. Good. Traveling down, we're going with the shoulder shrugs. Emphasize that nice squeeze at the top, rolling back, squeezing the shoulder blades back like so, and then depressing them down as we roll, making each movement count, bringing in a nice steady stream of blood into those working muscles. The synovial fluid into those joints, making us feel nice, good, and warm. Good. Turn. Reversing the action. Rolling our shoulders forward. 3, 4, we're going for 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Incorporating now more of our arms, we're going to swing them nice and up, elongating our trunk, breathing in, and coming down, exhale. And up for 2. Exhaling through the mouth, 2. 5 of these in total. Three. This is number 4. 4. And last one. And down for 5. Bringing our arms up from the top, bending, and out to the side, like there's two people approaching us and we're saying, stop. I want to raise up high and stop. Up and out. Up and out. 4 more. Everyone's doing great. And 3. And 2. And 1. Hold it right here as we start to wipe down our windows. I'm seeing that my windows off to the side, you can't see it, but they're a little grimy, so I'm gonna give them a nice little polish. We see these small little circles first, gradually making them bigger, getting more and more muscle activation, almost like we're flying up into the sky. And reversing, starting first nice and big, gradually making them smaller and smaller and smaller until they're a bit like a little pin right there. Woo! Let's bring those shoulders down. It's starting to burn a little bit. Shake it off, shake it off. Very good, everyone. Everyone's doing so great. All right. We want to keep moving, but we'll take the shoulders out of it for a bit. Hands, palm side up, and then we're just going to tap them right there. Nice. Palm down to the lap, up to the shoulder. That's 3, 4, up to 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We'll widen our stance a little bit, just so that we have a little bit more balance as we do this next activity, which is going to be side reaches. So pick a point on either side of the wall. So in this scenario, I'm looking over at a star that's drawn on the wall, and I'm going to reach out for it just until my opposite bum cheek starts to lift off of my chair. If it goes too much, then we don't want to fall over. The whole thing is to try to get that balance. We're literally teetering off the edge, and then we're turning back safe. Doing the same thing on the opposite side, really reaching until that opposite bum starts to lift. Hold it there, nice and tall with the back, and return. Very good. A lot of us probably like to draw or write. Maybe we're at our computer desk searching for things on the keyboard. But our hands, they're often neglected when it comes to exercise. They have these tiny, tiny little muscles that go around to the forearm. And so all we want to do is just have a nice open, nice and wide, like jazz hands, and then clenching. Very good. And open and close. Open, nice and wide, and close. Open and close. Last one, open, nice and wide, and close. Very good. They're nice and closed. We're going to put up our dukes and cross. You can see the base of my chair. It sort of serves as the midline of my body. And we're just going to punch, crossing. Get a little bit as we go. We're going to try to incorporate more of our trunk in this, warming up the bulk of our body, our core, as we reach over. That's why we prepped with those reaches in the previous exercise, and now we're doing so, crossing over our body. Very good, everyone. Excellent, excellent. Last 2, and 1. Good. Focusing again now, bring our movements lower into our body. If you'd like, you can either cross your arms over your shoulders or bring them up toward your head, whichever one feels better. Feet nice and wide for the balance, and then we're just going to side bend, getting more length into the opposite sides of our body, holding for about 5 seconds each side. Good. And on the opposite end, 4, 3, 2, last time. Holding, 3, 2, 1. And last time on the right. Good. 3, 2, 1. And back. Return. Off to the side, we're going to rotate with our spine and our belly. So I have this back rest. What I'll do is I'm going to make a nice half moon so you can see me start to twist. I'm going to hold on and anchor myself here and then use my opposite hand to bring myself and hold the twist. Now, if you don't have a back rest like that, that's perfectly fine. You can hold on to the back. Same thing right here as we twist. And if there's too much of that, we can always just modify and do as well as you can in the twist. Holding, turn, so you can see. Releasing, and working the opposite side. So for me, I'm going to make that half moon, holding on, anchoring, bringing my opposite arm to the opposite leg, and then reinforcing, I should say, that twist, holding for about 15 to 20 seconds. Breathing in, just like before, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. Slowly release, first with the arm on the lap, and then on the back of the wrist. Good. We'll now round out the back, get nice extension and flexion, rounding out the back. How we'll do that is we're going to lead, again with our head, down with that flexion, and then using our arms to travel down our knees, down toward our shin, and trying to create this rounding of our upper back, like so. Holding for about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Use your arms to travel back up to the legs so that we're nice and tall. Looking up, expanding, puffing up the chest, and getting a nice round lower arch in that lower back. Breathing in and coming back down. And up. Pulling the arms back as we puff up the chest and arch that lower back. And final time down. Again, go as far as you can comfortably go. This is all about your body and knowing where our ranges are. So if they're smaller, that's perfectly fine. That's all well and good. Reverse crunch, okay. So now that we have good movement, forward and back, side to side, and in that twist, I think we're ready to activate the trunk a little bit more. And we will do that We'll do that by doing what's referred to as a reverse crunch. We know the crunch is like, well, we don't really want to do it that way. We want to do it a smarter way. So we're going to start bringing ourselves a little bit toward the edge of our chair. And you see how there's this gap between my back and the back of the chair? We're going to brace ourselves, holding, tucking in that belly, and slowly leaning back, holding. You'll start to feel activation in that trunk until your back starts to kiss that backrest, and then we'll fold over to help get the gravity and our body weight over ourselves so we can pull ourselves forward and nice and straight again. Excellent, everyone. Let's do that 4 more times for a total of 5. Here we go. Going back, control. There, and then crunching forward and straight. That was number 2. At your own pace, we're going for number 3. Folding forward and coming in, pulling in, up. Falling back for number 4. That's it. Crunching, pulling ourselves back in. And number 5. Going. Kissing the back of the chair, rounding. And very good. Checking in. How's everyone doing? Great. Remember, even though we're not really focusing on strength necessarily, it's always good that we're doing these things to activate the body. If you have water nearby, I encourage, because it's getting hot outside. I know I can feel it, so take some time to drink a little bit, have a sip or two. It'll clear my throat as I speak. Okay. Headed now toward the hips and the rest of the lower body. This is a nice tried and true, lifting up the knees in our seated march. Good. We can always hold on for support if we need it. If not, that's even better. But we're going to use that to our advantage in the next exercise, coming up in 3, 2, 1. And I like to call this the starfish, where the legs come out and the arms go up as well. So we go out and in, out and in, out and in. Everyone's looking so good. And 4. I don't know, maybe in a past life I was a cheerleader. That's why I decided on getting this one in. Excellent, everyone. 2 more. And final one. And done. Good. Work in the hips a little bit more. These will be swimmers or pedals. So the most advanced version of this is leaning back without touching the backrest. So we're kind of floating like this as we do this sort of swimmer feel to it. If this is too much, again, you can lean back, get a little bit more support in the back, less what do you call it? Less, oh, I'm drawing a blank, how embarrassing. It helps to focus the hips a little bit more than the trunk. Okay. When it starts to fatigue a little bit more, we can go 1 by 1, like that, kicking out, good. And that's the last one of those. to strengthen the inner and outer thighs, but let's integrate something here. Let's get a little bit of chest involved. And how we're going to do that is by using the strength in our arms, strengthen our hips, so that they go against each other in a positive way. For how we'll do that, we're going to take our hands, press them against the outside of our knees so that the arms try to bring the knees in. But the knees, they want to fight back. So there's this equal movement. The knees are trying to go that way, the hands are trying to go that way, and they meet in the middle, and it looks like there's no movement, but there's real activation going on in the hips and in the chest. Does everyone feel that? Excellent, good. I'm gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest it. Good. And we'll go again for number 2. Press in while the knees push out. 3, 2, 1, and release. And final time. Squeeze the arms against the knees. Knees fighting back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. We'll shake it out, but in a controlled and conscious manner. We'll do that by, I'm going to scoot out a little bit more so you can see my leg a bit straighter. So the knee remains straight, toes pointed out as we imagine our foot like a metronome. It goes tick, tock like a grandfather clock. Oh, that rhymes. So the leg, it goes in and it goes out. If it were just like this, then that movement is limited to the lower half of the body. So keeping it straight brings in more of that leg. Total leg movement here. And out, in, and out. As far as you can comfortably go in this. Out, in, out. 3 more. Out, in, out, in, and out. Good. In, and doing our opposite leg, straight knee, toes pointed up as we go tick, tock like a grandfather clock. Good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bending our knees, getting more activation now in the knee area, more controlled. Incorporating the ankles with this, it's going to be the taps, but we're going to alternate between our heels and our toes. How that looks, I'm going to heel, heel, toe, and toe. Good. Heel. You can speed it up if you'd like, or slow it down, whatever you prefer. This is for you and your own pace. Do what feels comfortable. I believe that was the 4th repetition of this. We're going to go for another 4 for a total of 8. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Let's give our ankles a little bit of care. And just give them nice little circles. First out, as much as we can. 3, 2, 1, and then reversing so that they now turn inwards. Toes meet together. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Good. All right. The back of the leg is often very tight, especially when we sit for a long period of time. So we want to make sure that the nerves are shooting their nerve impulses appropriately and normally, and so the back of that leg needs to stretch out a little bit. We can do that by our setup, edge of the chair, leg out straight. We'll do our right leg first, toes pointed up, just like the previous exercise, tall back and hinging only at the hip so that we're leaning forward, and you should feel a gentle pull in the back of the leg, maybe even down toward the calf. Is everyone feeling that? Great. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds in total. Remember to breathe. 2 and 1. Good. Bring your upper body back to remove the slack of the leg. Then bend the leg back so that we can do the stretch on the opposite side. Turn around so you can see me. This will be the left leg. Out straight, toes pointed up, nice tall back, and leaning forward with that straight back, feeling the gentle pull in the back of the leg. Very good. And again, 30 seconds with this. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back nice and tall, first with our back, removing the slack, then bending the knee nice and tall. Very good. So far, everything has been done in sitting. Now we'll do a little bit of standing exercises, but I hope you all found that the body is nice and warm. First, starting with the neck, we move to the shoulders and the arms, and down all the way to the body. So I think we're primed and ready. So we're going to stand. Go so that we can hold on for support using our chair and do some partial squats. Now, a deep squat would look something like this, going all the way down. We don't necessarily want that. We want something maybe right here. And as we get down to about this level, I want you to hold this position for about 5 seconds. And we could start to feel a little bit of the burn as those muscles are really trying to fire, holding us up in this position, and up. Good. And down for that partial squat. And up. Down. Up. 3. Down. 4. Halfway. Down. And up. 5. For 6. 7. Last one. And 8. Good. We're at the back of the chair, and we're just going to lift that heel up toward our bum. Nice little pause when the heel goes as high as it can, getting a little bit of balance involved. If you'd like a little bit more of a challenge with balance, you can always reduce the support that you're using with your hands on the back of the chair. So I'll go one hand, I'll turn around so you can see, just lifting. Heel up to the bum. Last repetition. Good. I'm going to be off to the side, working on that single limb balance. When we move from here, now we're going to raise the knee up nice and tall, holding. If this is too much, we can scale it back by bringing our foot over toward our ankle. And if this is still challenging, toe tap so that our support, our standing surface is still quite narrow, still working and improving that balance. Work with your abilities and gradually make your way so that we're up here, maybe even here. Ooh, that'd be great. Good. And as we're doing this, you could sort of feel the wiggle in our ankle as they're really awakening up and saying, hey, I need to really get the rest of the body up and nice and tall. And down. And we'll do the same thing for about 30 to 35 seconds for the opposite leg. Again, this would be the more advanced, and we could feel the wiggle in our ankle. Down here is a modification, and down here is also a modification. All of them working the balance. Good. And down. We went backwards, we went forwards. Now let's work a little bit of the balance off to the side. Strengthening that side muscle, really responsible for keeping us nice and tall. Again, that's in the bum. A lot of people don't realize just how important these muscles are, and they tend to allow them to get kind of soft or not engaged as much, but that's not us. We want them nice and engaged and nice and strong so we can stand up nice and tall. We're going to bring them off to the side, holding 3, 2, 1, and down, and up, 3, 2, 1, and down, up, 3, 2, 1, and down. That was number 3, 2, 1, and down for 4. Final time for 5, 3, 2, 1, and down. Bring my chair to this side so I can support myself. Working on the left leg. Up, 2, 3, and down. 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 Good. Now standing behind our chair, instead of off to the side, we're going to bring our leg nice and straight back as though we are just toe tapping. But as the leg goes behind us, I want you to really contract and squeeze that glute. Squeeze that glute, isolating, nice and tall. What we want to try to avoid is this, the arch in the back this way. In some fashions, that's okay, that's appropriate, but not for this exercise. It takes away from the intended movement and the intended contraction. So holding, squeezing, and back. Like also for 5. So this is number 3, 2, 1, and return. Number 4, 2, 3, and squeeze. Final squeeze for the left leg, 2, 1, and so now to engage the right leg. So that'll just be back, squeeze, and return. Squeeze, and return, 2, squeeze, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. I had mentioned before in this exercise where our ankles and our feet muscles are starting to wiggle a little bit, and that's good, that's encouraged. So we want to engage more of that by doing a little bit more of the sway, going from toe to heel. You see how my body's kind of swaying almost like I'm a tree in the wind. Reducing the amount of surface that my feet are using in order to keep my balance. You can advance it by holding on with just one arm instead of two. Whoops. See, I lost my balance there. So these exercises are always good. 2, and last one. 1. Very good. This one is one of my personal favorites. I like to call these the ankle tornadoes. I'll step back so you can see my whole body. Still emphasizing on those ankles, very, very important for balance. Really want to keep the awareness. Really, as the saying goes, we want to keep us on our toes. That's exactly what this exercise does. And so I'm standing about as tall as I can, and I'm going to imagine my body a bit like a cone, or as I said before, a tornado. My feet stay nice and grounded, as narrow a stance as I can, and I'm going to sway in a circle, feeling my weight travel from the side of one foot over to my toes, and then over to the other side and back to my heels, trying to keep straight and really teetering on the edge of that balance as we turn in circles like a tornado. How's that feel, everyone? Okay. One more time, one more circle in this direction before we reverse it and go on the opposite side. Nice little tornado. Again, the chair is there to help support you and guide. Keep us nice and safe. 5, 2 more. Excellent. Our feet are nice and narrow. We're going to take a step forward with our right foot. The width of the step is whatever you're comfortable with. So if this is fine with you, great. If it's a little bit smaller of a step, that's great too. What we're going to do is work on the tightrope balance. Again, getting a little bit more in tune with how our body moves and tries to readjust as we stand. And we're going to influence a little bit more of a challenge by turning our heads like we did in the beginning, left and right. Proprioception, visual scanning, all influence the way that our body reacts to balance. I'm sure everyone has had an experience where something sudden appeared from the side of our eyesight, and then it startled us. So what tends to happen is we do something like this. We try to support ourselves by lowering our body a little bit, and by incorporating a little bit more of this visual scanning, it helps that proprioception to adapt to these fast reactions that we build upon. I've switched my legs so that there's more emphasis on one leg over the other, just so that they're evened out. And we're going to turn our head again. If this is easy, holding onto the chair, you can have it by standby as we continue to turn our head 2 more times. Great. All right. Back to center, and let's stretch out those calves. Standing behind a chair, take one step back, and lunge forward a little bit, slightly with that front foot, while keeping the back leg, that heel, down. If it goes up like that, then we lose the stretch. We want to keep it down here. As we bring the hips forward, that will really bring in that stretch down here in the back of our lower leg. Holding. Shifting the emphasis of the stretch, then we'll bend that back leg just ever so slightly, but still keeping the heel nice and grounded. Holding, you might feel a little bit of a pull, gentle pull in the front or the shin area of the leg. Great. Shift the body weight forward so that we relax that stretch, stepping forward to reset and work on the other leg, left leg back, lunging forward, bringing the heel struck down, grounded on the leg, on the floor, feeling that stretch. And then bending that back leg ever so slightly, keeping the heel grounded, getting a little variation of that same stretch. Fantastic. Holding, 3, 2, 1. Lunging forward, relaxing that stretch, and stepping up forward. Very good, everyone. Now, there's 2 variations to the next stretch. We can do it either in standing. I sort of prefer it in sitting, but just to show the example first, it's going to be a stretch for the quads, supporting ourselves, again, with the back of the chair. We're going to bring our foot up toward and hooking, anchoring at the top like this so we can feel the stretch in the front part of our thigh. And this may be challenging to some, so the alternative exercise, or the alternative stretch, is if we sit down onto the chair, we can replicate this by sitting onto the side where the seated surface is on one half of our leg, bringing the other leg back like that, and then shifting our hips forward. So from the side, what that looks like is I shift, I bring this leg backwards, and then bring my hips up forward like that, and anchoring myself so that we can get the same stretch, same pull in that quad. Great. Everyone's doing a different variation. That's wonderful. I'm going to release the stretch and go on the other side. So I'll do this one in sitting. Bringing that leg back, bending at the knee, pushing my hip forward, getting that stretch in. Nice and tall with the spine. All the while, throughout every exercise that we're doing, breathing in deep, nice and relaxed, getting blood flow to the appropriate muscles that are being activated at each time. And we'll release that stretch. And for the remainder of the last bit of exercise, it's all going to be in sitting. So let's go ahead and take a seat once again. And there was a good portion where we really did work on contracting those hip muscles. So let's give those a little bit of love by stretching them out, crossing our leg as well as we can, anchoring at the ankle, and then taking either our hand or our forearm and gently pressing down so that we open up the hip in this figure 4. Do the best you can with this exercise. If this is too much, we can modify, relaxing a little bit more, bringing the leg a little bit further down, but still pressing so that we feel the stretch in the back of the hip and a little bit also in the front of the psoas, or the front portion of our hip. Holding. Great. And we'll release. And do the same thing for the opposite leg. Holding for 30 seconds in total. Five, four, three, two, one, and release. Working our way back up toward the body. We're going to give our shoulders some love now by bringing our arm across our body, hooking with the other arm, and pulling it close toward our chest to feel that stretch in that side of our shoulder. Holding. Great. Good. Five, four, three, two, one. Slowly release the stretch. And then out straight with the opposite arm, crossing over our body, hooking above the elbow, and hugging that arm in toward our chest. Holding, feeling that stretch. 5, 4, 2, and slowly release. I'm sure everyone here has roles and responsibilities that require attending to other people. So it's very important that we take some time for ourselves, as we're doing right now, to really love ourselves. And that's what we're going to do in the physical form, and really give ourselves nice big hugs by opening up, puffing the chest, breathing in, and then giving ourselves those nice loving hugs. Hug ourselves. The power of positive thinking, the power of positive emotions really help to emphasize how we feel throughout the day. Opening up at the chest and squeezing for the second time. One more time, because 3 times a charm. And it's going to be, I believe, a 3-day weekend. So 1 for each day moving forward. And hugging ourselves. Really trying to spread those shoulder blades apart, separating them so that we get a good stretch in the upper back. Very good. Finally, we'll bring our hands close together, interlocking, and then just giving them nice little circles, loosening up those joints. We'll go up, raising the shoulders, and then down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down by our lap. And we'll finish off with our last set of deep breathing. 5 deep breaths. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Breathing in toward our nose, expanding the chest and our belly, pursing our lips as we exhale out through the mouth. And in and out. In, out. In and out. And one last time for posterity. In Breathing in all the good things and breathing out all the negativity. Opening our eyes. And we're done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this exercise session today, and I hope also that it proves that we can get really good movement working the entire body without anything but our chair and our body and a great positive attitude. So once again, my name is Ulster Napoles with Reneu Health. The strength exercises are on Tuesdays, and the stretching and balance and range of motion things, as we've done today, are Fridays at this time, 10:45. I hope you'll join me again.